Ya, selamat malam Bapak Ibu dan teman-teman semuanya. Sekarang
Malam.
tepat pukul 7:10 kita akan memulai sesi kita. Pada malam hari ini adalah Ambassador's Corner yang menghadirkan Duta Besar Belarus untuk Indonesia, His Excellency Valery Kolesnik. Sebelumnya kita akan mendengarkan sambutan dari Ketua Umum IABIE, Ikatan Alumni Program Habibie, dan perlu diketahui bahwa Ambassador's Corner adalah program bersama antara Ambassador and CEO Club dan Ikatan Alumni Program Habibie. Excellency, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Thank you, Excellency, for joining us. But first of all, before I start our talk, we are going to welcome the chairman or the president of IABIE to give welcome remarks. Please, Pak Bimo.
Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Sejahtera bagi kita semua. Terima kasih kepada Mbak Grace yang telah mengundang saya untuk memberi sambutan. First, I would like to thank you, Mr. Ambassador of Belarus, Your Excellency, Mr. Kolesnik. It's been an honor for us to be with us here this beautiful night, and I hope this event will enlighten our alumni, especially to Belarus, because we want to know about your country, your people, your culture. Also, I heard that you are also have very good in science and technology. So today it's been an honor for us to invite you to become our special speaker. Untuk para alumni semua, ini semoga menjadi acara reguler kita semua setiap minggu, dan semoga ini menjadi suatu acara unggulan kita selain adanya IABIE Talks ini. Mungkin itu dari saya, Mbak Grace. Thank you very much. So enjoy the night, and hopefully we can get something very important from this discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pak Bimo. Hello, Excellency.
Hello, good evening. Selamat malam.
Selamat malam. Thank you very much for coming to this Ambassador's Talk, Ambassador's Corner. Actually, Indonesian people unfortunately don't really know about Belarus. And I hope that in this talk, we are going to know more about your country and also, of course, about you. But before I ask questions about your country, can you please tell about yourself? Are you a career diplomat, or are you actually coming from different background?
Yeah. Thank you very much. I would like to thank all of you to join this discussion, and this evening I would be here and would be open to answer all your questions, or on any case I will try to answer your question.
Okay.
And
yes.
Thank you very much for the first question. I don't know, 25 years, is it career diplomat or not?
It is a career diplomat.
I'm 25 years in diplomatic service, but you are right. I had previously military background. I studied in military institute. I finished it in the 1986. It was Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Well, I spent more than 10 years in army, and I finished military diplomatic academy in Moscow. But at that time, the Soviet Union collapsed, and we received 15 independent states, including Republic of Belarus. I took my decision to come back to my country because all my parents, all my relatives, myself, my wife, my kids were born in Belarus, and we decided to join our family and to serve our country, which got independence in 1991.
Okay.
Well, I returned as a military guy, but at that time, It was a very huge army in the Soviet Republic of Belarus, and one of the main goals of the foreign service was to accomplish the disarmament process, to join international treaties concerning arms control, disarmament, security, etc. And I received a proposal to join Foreign Office as an expert in arms, and I joined it. And since that, I was in the Foreign Service. And later on, after maybe 10 years of my career in Foreign Office as a member and deputy head and head of number of delegation to the disarmament forum. And our delegation in Vienna, in New York, in Geneva, I proposed to be posted to Turkey as ambassador.
all right.
So since that, I mostly diverted to the economy and trade and bilateral relations. And I spent 6 years, very interesting 6 years in Turkey as ambassador. Then I returned to home to the capital and spent 4 years as a deputy director for the foreign trade policy in our foreign office. And since 2018, I'm here. I'm glad to see you and enjoy Indonesia, enjoy history and culture and beauty.
Okay.
So this is my short background.
All right. So actually, you have quite rich background as a diplomat. I hope that you enjoy our country. But I'm curious whether when you came for the first time in Indonesia, did you have a kind of cultural shock or something? Or something that you found unusual perhaps for you? Or very,
Well, frankly saying, before that, before my first landing on Indonesia, so I visited a number of countries in the region, Vietnam, China, Japan, and when I arrived to Indonesia, the first thing was quite interesting for me, that I see not a continent, but islands.
Yes.
This was the first. Oh, I said, listen, you are in the country which is completely not on the land, on the island.
Yeah.
And of course, I knew that it is about 17,000 islands. Well, I was impressed. And my just first research in the history, in geography, I see that, you know, your country is so huge in the dimension from the north, from the west to the east.
Right.
That if you put it on the map of Eurasia, it will take from the Far East till Ural.
Right.
In Russia, it's more than 5,000 kilometers. But when we are living in European inland countries, many people have an impression about the countries which are laid down on the island. It's island. It's something small.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a wrong impression. And this was the first thing I just changed completely from the first my day.
Okay, so that is your impression that you are actually didn't expect Indonesia have so many, so many islands, big and small. Okay, Excellency, thank you very much for introducing yourself. I feel now that I know you more than I know you before. Now, I actually already read about your country, and I found so many interesting facts about Belarus. And I would like to ask you some of them and really want to know about that facts. The first is Belarus is known as Silicon Valley of Eastern Europe. And it means that technology is growing and advancing in your country. And I read that more and more students or more and more youth now they are interested in becoming programmer or starting what is that? Starting their own business as a startup company like that. Can you please tell about this fact of Belarus?
It's quite interesting. I should say page of our history of our development, recent development, because frankly saying, before many countries, many economies and businesses called Belarus as assembling plant of the Soviet Union.
Okay.
We had machinery, automobile sector, agricultural machinery sector, and we produced quite big number of agricultural machinery, mining dump trucks, all other kinds of equipment, including buses, electric buses, etc.
Yeah.
But as for the high tech and IT sector, it's quite a new story. It's only maybe 10, 12 years, since 2008 maybe. It was a decision to develop this sector of economy and to launch the idea like Silicon Valley in the United States. Of course, the dimension is quite different. You should understand we have only 10 million of population, not 300 million. But in any case, we had before a good background for that to go to this adventure because since Soviet Union we had very strong mathematics school.
Okay.
On secondary schools and in high school education, Academy of Sciences, we had very good background. And at the same time, we had two institutes in electronics, which produce also military and dual use equipment. So far, our school was very strong, and many people, they still working in the economy for the government as well. And they decided just to create economic and financial incentives and follow up the results or the experience of Singapore and China. Today, maybe I will recall Singapore experience not only one time, several times. So far, and we propose to our young generation to go inside of this new history of new branch, and we see that shortly we've got a very interesting result. We've got companies well known not only in Belarus, not only in our part of the region, but all over the world. Like Viber Messenger, it was born in Belarus. And in some countries, even in ASEAN, in Philippines, for example, Viber even more popular than WhatsApp until now.
Oh, wow.
Masquerade, also wargaming, many games, electronic games, virtual made in Belarus. And now we just focused on several lines, fintech, security, social life, and the services for the family, smart home, etc., etc. Well, and people started to, this business started to just grow itself. And I have relatives, friends in this branch, and even 5 years ago, they said, listen, it's quite difficult to find people. We need more and more people educated, even especially for this IT sector. And now a number of big companies, which are residents of the high-tech park, launched the idea to create the academy, IT academy, and it will be open not only for Belarusian citizens, but also for foreign citizens.
Okay. Thank you.
Very shortly.
Yes, thank you. So we know about, actually, that is correct, that IT is actually growing in your country. But before we continue, actually, I forgot to share about the video of Belarus, so the audience will know how beautiful your country is. I will start to share.
It seems to me no sounds.
So there's no audio on this?
Yes, there's no sound.
There's no audio. Should we introduce like a table round, like who is on the call? Because so that way like everybody get involved and then can ask a question to the ambassador. Because I don't see like a people just quiet here. So let's people like you know, like introduce everybody who's on the call. So that way ambassador can see who is on the call. So by the way, the ambassador, so nice to meet you. So I'm Gatot Susilo from Singapore. So I'm Indonesian, but I live in Singapore right now. So it's good to see you. I never, so this is like big surprise. So I know Russia, I know Minsk, but when I got the invitation, the ambassador for Belarus, I was quite surprised, like, oh, there's a Belarus. So I like to see more about Belarus. So it's a good introduction. So I'm very happy to meet you. It's very honored on this call. So I think like I would like everybody to introduce themselves. So nice to meet you, Ambassador.
Thank you very much. Also nice to meet you.
So I'll put my picture so make sure you know who I am.
Now I see you.
Now you see me. All right.
Yeah.
So I will let everybody to introduce themselves too. So like we see Yulianto, Adriano. So please, Pa, introduce yourself to Ambassador. So that way we know everybody.
Okay, my name is.
Maaf, ini kenapa jadi mulai? Ini apa tadi tidak mendengarkan ini ya? Apa namanya? Saya sedang men-share tentang video.
Okay, but there's no suara, Ibu. There's no audio. So I don't know.
Karena saya belum selesai, talk show saya belum selesai.
Okay, sorry, go ahead, carry on.
Jadi kalau memang tidak kelihatan, saya akan melanjutkan talk show saya dulu, baru saya serahkan kalau sudah selesai.
Silakan, Ibu.
Oke. Jadi tadi tidak kelihatan ya itunya apa videonya?
Videonya kelihatan, ada audio.
Nggak kelihatan apa nggak kedengeran Bu. Videonya kelihatan cuman suaranya nggak keluar.
Oh, unfortunately it is like that. Okay, Excellency, we are very sorry that we cannot play your video properly. I don't know because perhaps there is a technical problem. We are going to continue this talk show before the gentleman will continue.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so there is a misunderstanding actually. They thought that it is already all from me, but actually there are still more questions.
Okay, go ahead, Ibu. Carry on. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Excellency, around 40% of Belarus is covered by forest. It is actually known as the lungs of Europe. It is almost similar to Indonesia. Indonesia is also well known as lungs of the world. Can you please tell the audience about the forest in your country and what's so special about it?
Well, I'm also very glad that too many forests in Indonesia, and when you arrive into any island, you see the forest, and it's a very nice picture from the airplane always. I enjoy very much when I'm traveling from one island to another one.
Yeah.
Well, as for Belarusian forest, yes, you are absolutely right. We have a very huge amount of forests, and we have the most famous Belarusian forest called Belarusская Pushcha. This is a very old forest where the homeland for endemic animals, Belarusian or European bison. We are calling it zubr, and zubr is national symbol as an animal of health.
Yeah.
And of course, we have more forests in every region. Our territory is quite big for the population of 10 million. We have, I should say, 17th place in the Europe. So we are small, but not so small. And this is the bison. We have,
Yeah.
this is our bison. Yeah, we have in our forest since all centuries.
I don't think we have.
This is a symbol of the health and strong.
Yeah, I don't think we have bison here. I don't think we do have it.
But you have quite a big number of animals.
Animals,
we don't have.
Yeah,
the same as the one in the US.
Yes, and
in the US, yes.
Yeah, and frankly saying, we have these forests. We care of them. If we use them for the economy or wood processing or something, we just make a new forest. Always. Yeah. This is the big programs, and every region, every city, when they go to just cut the old tree, they make a new one. And we have so national campaign in the spring just to plant the forest, the big portion of forest for the future generation.
Is it your forest? Is it similar to our forest? I mean, of course, because you are in Europe and we are in tropical country, of course it is different. I mean, are they rich? I mean, are they with big trees, old trees like that, or did you plant the forest?
Okay,
so
okay.
It is quite old forest or younger forest?
Well, we have forests, of course, a few hundred years. Maybe we have old forests with 100, 200 years, but we have also forests 50 years, 60 years. What I can say that, of course, due to the climate, you have more fast-growing forests. Maybe I had some notions that in this region the forest is growing 5 times faster than in my country.
Okay.
So far, we are very careful with forests, but sometimes we have hurricanes as well that destroy forests. These are not like here in Philippines or something like that, but important for the forest. Well, we have wooden industry, furniture industry. We are very strong in this field since maybe mid of the last century, but I don't see that the volume of forest is reduced. The only thing that we have also this impact of the changing climate change in our country. And 25 years ago, according to our scientists, we have 3 climate zones. North zone, central zone, and just middle zone on the border of Ukraine on the south. And today, the north zone went absolutely gone out. So we have more warm climate. 25, 30 years ago, we have winters with the temperature minus 25, minus 35. Today, maybe 2-3 weeks with cold, with frost, but there are regions there absolutely no snow.
Oh, wow.
It's a completely new one. And I know that our National Academy of Science is making many researches what we will do with the agriculture in next 20, 25, maybe 30 years.
Yeah.
Because we should prepare the nation, we should prepare the economy to work with other plants, other culture, agricultural culture.
Okay. How about parks, public parks in Belarus?
Park, I mean in parks?
Yes, parks.
National parks, or yes. Well, parks, it's all about Belarus, including in the cities, in Minsk, in the capital, in all cities, we have green parks, and we are trying to make the cities green and comfortable. So we are not so high in buildings like Jakarta, for example.
Yeah.
In Minsk, maybe 25, 30 floor, the biggest building. In Jakarta, you can get maybe 200, 300 meters. Close to Kipinski, I have a residence. A new one is growing up for 3 years. It would be maybe 300 meters.
Okay.
Well.
Okay. Yeah. Since you mentioned about cities, especially the capital city of Belarus, I heard that Belarusians take cleanliness seriously. Can you please tell? Because I read that there are so many garbage bins all over Belarus. Is it true?
Well, you know, yeah, it's not my opinion. As for me, I think that we just normal nation we try to make clean at their home, at their cities and their country. Yeah. Well, it is in the culture, and yeah, I think it is normal in my country. We are following this, yeah. But since the kindergarten or maybe secondary school or primary school, we are trying to teach people, to teach kids just to make cleaning around them, around their houses. And so far it is in the culture, and sometimes we have also like big gathering of the citizens of one big house, for example, city apartments, when they use the Saturday just for cleaning the territory around.
Okay.
They so just family come out and make workout, and they're cleaning, making, just cleaning after winter, mostly after the winter, because in the winter we have a snow, and after the spring came, they have to make a beauty.
Yeah.
Here in Indonesia, you have beauty all the year. You are green 365 days per year. You're lucky. In this case, you're lucky. In our case, we just now entering the autumn season. The yellow would be shortly yellow, red, brown. Then absolutely.
That's what we don't have it here in Indonesia.
And after the winter, of course, you have to come back to this beauty, all the flowers blooming, etc., etc.
Okay. Now we jump to another subject. It is about sports. Yeah. Also, I read, because I've never been to your country, so I read before I asked you with so many questions. Actually, I read that there are more than 20,000 sporting venues open to the public across the country. If Belarusians aren't playing sports, chances are they are watching it. So it is like you guys, you enjoy sports, including you. I noticed from your social media that you also enjoy cycling like that. Can you please tell about sports in your country?
May I start just from the one observation that too many Indonesians also admire sport.
Okay.
Admire sport. And on Saturday, on Sunday, so huge number of citizens are walking, jogging, cycling, playing golf, tennis, badminton, everything.
Yes.
So far, your nation is like sport very much. I know that. As for my country, yes, we like sport, but we have a little bit different system because of this changing of the seasons. Yeah, winter season, summer season. Yeah, and maybe 20, as I mentioned years ago, the winters were more strong. And about 6 months, we could enjoy winter sport. So far, ice hockey, skiing, skating, still popular among kids, among schools, children, among the young population. Elder population well enjoy this kind of sport. In some, we enjoy it, like many nations, also football, tennis, cycling. Even a few years ago, we just opened the first golf course.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The first.
But it is working. You understand? It is working from May till September. The season is very short.
Yes,
but
very
as
short.
For me, I'm using my opportunity to be here to learn golf, to come back, and just to fight somebody.
Okay. Yeah.
And yes, and education, physical education, just we also trying to develop the facilities, different kinds of facilities from small to medium, from medium to big size, not only in the big cities, but also in the small cities, in villages as well, that no matter where you live in and growing children in the village, on small town, or in the big city, or in the capital, they can have a possibility just to make this feat or make a progress. Because when we are talking about big sport, for example, not all sportsmen or Olympic players or Olympic winners from the capital. Of course, you should find these talents in the villages, small villages. And to grow them up, you need this infrastructure. So we are working like all nations on that.
Okay. How about you? Please tell us about your sports here in Indonesia, your sports activity.
Well, I'm trying also to keep just my feet, not to sit too much. Well, and I enjoy very much here cycling. We have a group of fans, and recently I participated in one ride, Grand Fonda, 135 kilometers, with pre-ride 2020. This is the insurance company Prudential.
Yes, Prudential.
They organized this pre-ride 2020. And I should say it's very good opportunity for me, and I enjoy every Saturday and every Sunday.
Did you win something? Did you win a prize or something?
Well, I just received a medal of participant in Grand Fonda. It's quite enough for me, but enjoyable in any case.
Yeah, Excellency, thank you for sharing that. Now we are talking about food, something that everybody enjoys. And we know also by looking at you that Belarusians, they have warm personality like that. You are well known because of your hospitality. Please tell about the food and the hospitality of Belarusians.
Thank you for your kind words. Yes, we are trying also always just to host our guests as valuable guests, as members of the family. And the first words you will hear when you enter any house, like French citizen, faites comme chez vous.
Okay.
So feel like at your home. Feel like at your home.
All right.
Feel free, feel like at your home. And of course, you will be hosted with all hospitality. And yeah, we are trying to just to prepare some national dishes. But for just general observation, the cuisine or kitchen of Belarus is widely shared with Ukraine, with Russian, with all Slavic nations. I should say Poland, for example, Czech, Slovakia, even with Germany. So it's East European region we share, and you can find the same dishes in the different national brand book, I should say. But mostly famous belonging to Belarus is a very simple recipe. We are calling them draniki.
Okay. What is that?
Draniki is pancakes from the potatoes.
Oh.
And
I never taste that.
Yes, this dish is very, very simple. It's only potatoes and onion. Onion.
Yeah.
You just make the mixture and grill it in the oil.
Oh, so is it main dish or it is a kind?
It's it could be a main dish. It could be just assorted. It could be additional to the meat.
Oh.
What I would like to say that potato is mostly used for the cuisine vegetable in Belarusian kitchen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we have a book. We have a book even 500 dishes from potato.
Oh wow! So you Belarusians seem to love potato so much.
Yeah. And even in the Soviet Union, it was a joke that Belarusians had potato guys. Lovers of potato.
Okay.
Why it is? Because we produced potato as agriculture. Yeah. And,
do you also export potatoes?
We export potatoes, yeah. We export potato, but maybe since 19th century, potato was strongly entered to the culture of Belarus. And we are making with potato, soup, pancakes, different kinds, with meat, with fish, just dairy products. So, but potato is our first, I should say, brand vegetable or food. If you come to Belarus, please ask draniki. It will be served with, for example, sour cream or sauce or meat, any kind of meat or fish, and you would admire it. So simple recipe, so beautiful. Even during my national reception here 2 years ago and 3 years ago, we made them here. Next time we will do that after the pandemic went.
The pandemic, yeah. You are going to celebrate actually your National Day in a few days, right?
No. We celebrated it on July 3rd.
Not in September?
In July.
Oh.
In July. In July. July 3rd.
Oh, not July 3rd, not September. So I'm sorry that.
Yes, but you are right. Last year we celebrated it in September.
Yeah, because
in July, August it is summer break. Many people go out from Jakarta, and we would like to see all our friends. That's why we just attended September last year.
Yeah. Thank you, Excellency. That in around 45 minutes, I've already known about your countries more through you. And there will be 4 people from the audience, representing the audience, that will ask questions to you. Yeah, but before they will take over from me, I will ask you the last 2 questions that I always ask my guest. actually. Yeah, the first one, it is, please tell about your daily routine that make you, that can give the best version of you. I mean, how can you be the best version of you? And please tell, so we can also learn from you. Perhaps
Okay.
you can just tell about your daily routine or something that is your habit that is positive and give positive impact to you.
Well, positive impact, when I start in the morning, it's 3 times per week at 5 a.m.
Wow.
To start my cycling, 2 hours cycling.
Oh, wow.
I have huge energy after that for all the day, even for 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the key.
Not this. This is a part of the key. The second part of the key. The second part of the key is a coffee, a good coffee, a cup of coffee, coffee.
A cup of coffee.
Yeah, and I enjoy very much Indonesian coffee, really, and I just admire. You have so huge choice that I never seen before. Even in the coffee countries as well, but Indonesian coffee, I should say the best, and you should promote it on the international market.
All right. Okay, so 2 things that we can learn from you about your daily routine is that you enjoy sports to start the day and also coffee, right? Okay.
Okay, I would a little bit correct. Wake up early in the morning and take a coffee.
Yes, that is true. Early in the morning. Not so many people do that, including me. Okay. And then the last question from me, it is, can you please share about the books that you enjoy reading, your favorite books? Perhaps from there, we can also read and learn something.
Well, very, very good question, but very wide question. Just
you can share actually the books from your, I mean, from the early stage of your life, or or later. It is up to you.
Yeah, it's you know with all these gadgets, we have so huge information we're receiving that sometimes just to come back to the regular book, it's so nice.
Yeah.
To forget all gadgets, just to sit down, to take a coffee, and to read, just to imagine something inside of the head, not just to follow information, broadcasting, etc. Well, and I mentioned Singapore, and being here, yes, of course, I really very much trying to get additional information about the region, and Lee Yu, as an ex-prime minister of Singapore, he made a tremendous job for his country, and he wrote so many interesting books describing his reflections. Singapore became one of the, I should say, well-developed modern society country. And we just in the beginning of our itinerary since 1991, less than a year, just we overcome. And we are looking for these examples. And for me, as ambassador here, I'm trying also to get this dynamic, these lessons learned, not only by Singapore, but also by Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, Philippines. It's quite interesting, because I remember the level of the economy, society 30 years ago, what you had. And today. That's why the books describing this situation is quite interesting for me, and I'm trying to get information for myself. Well, and the second one, it is also our changing world, but a few years ago, I just acquainted with Nassim Taleb. Nassim Taleb is American and Lebanon citizen. He is economist, financist, and he is writer. He is an author of the theory of the Black Swan.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
you have that. And I just remember I took this book, started it page by page. It was not so interesting, but then comparing the present life, and that you can just make any imagination
Yeah.
what will be help, and
Yeah.
then you will get completely, you could get completely different picture. Well,
Yes.
I liked it very much, and I'm coming back sometimes just to learn what he said about this and why, and how he get to this theory. So
Yeah.
I should say today it's two authors that are on my table. I'm not talking about the Belarusian or Russian speaking or Indonesian authors. Frankly saying, I'm reading books, American, French, Russian,
Yeah.
and Russian.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
but mostly now they concerned about business and economy and
Yeah.
transition in economy and society. This is my
Okay.
point of view.
Okay. Thank you, Excellency. I will give you my book. Actually, I published a book last year. I wrote the book. The title is Indonesia Through Different Lenses. I wrote the book with 14 ambassadors. So I will give you this week. You will receive it. And by reading that, actually, I hope that you will know more about Indonesia's tourist destination.
I'm impatient, waiting for the book.
Ya, baik. Kita sudah selesai dengan Bapak Duta Besar Valery Kolesnik. Sekarang saya akan menyerahkan kepada 4 penanggap. Masing-masing akan memperkenalkan dirinya sebelum memulai sesi tanggapan ini. Bisa berupa tanggapan atau pertanyaan kepada Bapak Duta Besar. Excellency, now we start the question and answer. There will be 4 of the audience who will give you questions and please answer.
Okay. So who will be the start board? So like we have 4. So can you name individual who will be the starter for the?
Okay, I can start. Thank you very much, His Excellency Ambassador Valery Kolesnik. It's very interesting to hear about the Belarus. Yeah. It's very beautiful. Before this meeting, I watched YouTube's on Belarus. Yeah. It's very beautiful. Yeah. The city is clean, everything is clean, and beautiful people. And then, the topics today is about Belarus as a Silicon Valley of Eastern Europe. Yeah. So hearing from you, yeah, when Bu Grace asking about this. So you mentioned that you used to be agriculture technology, yeah, based on the agriculture technology, and in 2008, yeah, you start transforming into science and technology and science and technology. Yeah. So within 12 years, yeah, you've been successfully transforming the from agriculture technology to high tech, yeah, which is very competitive, especially in the world, yeah, where the competition is world competition basically, yeah. So our question is of course the people. People is very important, yeah, and of course people is start with the educations, yeah. So you mentioned that the government has a program, yeah, but of course, how to make it so that people will be interested, yeah, even though it's a program, but how that people is interested and can catch up with the program from the government, yeah, to learn science and technology, and of course the important one is the entrepreneurship also, yeah, because in this especially in the high tech, yeah, a lot of startup, etc. You have to
take the risk to start the new things, etc. And then the second one is about the institutions, the university. How you transform the university to be world class. For example, do you send the professor to to learn in US or in Europe, etc. And also, is there any program, for example, you have to create a certain number of PhD, all those things there. And then the last one is, of course, is there any program to mix and match between the university program and also the industry, so that it's going to support each other, that the university is supporting the industry, and the industry also get the support from the university. That's actually 3 questions that I have. That's from me. I don't know whether it's going to be answered directly or is it going to be another. It's up to you. I keep it to Grace.
Ya, jadi satu persatu aja Pak. Jadi setelah Bapak langsung dijawab oleh Pak Dubes. Excellency, you can just answer the questions, not only one, some questions, and then we continue to another person.
Okay. Thanks very much for the question, Pak Wiranto. First, if I can't answer all questions right now directly to the people, I just advise you and propose to come to my office, or just to organize a direct Zoom meeting with you to discuss more in depth. If you have interest for that, I would be ready to just organize it and to discuss more details, because we are very limited in time. I can't just answer in details. Well, but I will try in general to say that on your questions. Well, how the people know about this? Because they see, like in every society, that these specialists are well educated, they have a well-being, good salary, they know foreign languages, they are mostly welcome to any international company, not only in Belarus, but also in foreign countries. So, and the market demand is growing. The potential is growing. And even today in Belarusian companies, IT companies, there is a competition to attract people, to divert to their company so far, and we need more and more. And the population is not so big. But the first interest, so the government just created the umbrella, the law, the financial incentives, the regulations for the business, for the taxes, etc., etc. And the businesses from United States, European countries, Asian countries as well, from Singapore we have, from Philippines we have, and they just joined for some special projects. And of course, these companies are not working for themselves. They are working for the industry, for the agriculture. We have interesting products for agricultural as well. We are not, and we are still keeping agricultural sector developed. We export, our export of agriculture, 7 billion per year. 7 billion per year. It's around 10-15%. So as for the IT products and services, we started from zero, maybe from 10-20 million. Last year we recorded 2 billion. So the increase in export of IT services is tremendous, and we think that it will continue to grow. And we have programs, special program, and as I mentioned before, the IT sector is ready to spend money to extend this educational system and to take on board new students, including foreign students. As for the teachers or university professors, yeah, of course, exchange exists, and many people have additional or master administration business MBA programs we're fulfilling in United States, maybe European countries. But for these specific subjects, I know that people are coming also to Belarus to just fulfill and to make their studies in higher education of the universities. So we have how many? 51 universities in Belarus. 51. It's the same number as for Japan, but the population in Japan 12 times higher than in Belarus.
Yes.
So we are working. You see, we spend money for education, and we do not are rich in oil and gas.
Yeah.
We have to. It's our richness is people.
Ya.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for the
Apakah
answer.
sudah menjawab, Pak?
Sudah. Thank you. I let other.
Baik, maaf tadi Pak Yulianto ya, yang ini ya, yang sudah menjadi penanggap pertama. Kemudian yang kedua saya persilahkan apabila sudah ada di tengah audiens Pak Agus Budiono.
Ya, terima kasih Bu Grace. Good evening, His Excellency. Thank you for sharing your insights regarding Belarus, and I would like to view it as a prospect of collaboration between Belarus and Indonesia. As you might be aware that a few years back, maybe at the start of your post in Indonesia, Belarus is involved in supporting the technology, at least the maintenance of the Sukhoi 30 MK of the Indonesian Air Force. I view it as a very important milestone because as you also know that Indonesia would like to maintain free and active foreign policies. We don't want to depend on a single country for the technology. And I think I learned in this very short 45-minute question and answer a lot about Belarus, including the fact that you are dubbed as a Silicon Valley of Eastern Europe. I think you're also aware that Indonesia is currently very keen in developing innovation-based industry. And not only in IT, but also in many strategic industry, including machinery, road and construction, materials, defense, and many others. So I would like to ask you a question. How do you view this kind of potential of collaboration between two countries, mid-term or long-term? Thank you.
Pak Agus, thank you very much for your question. Very good question. Indeed, it's about cooperation, yes, and yeah, we do have potential in the field flow you mentioned, in maintenance of firefighters, airplanes, and helicopters, and we have some contracts here also in Indonesia. We are fulfilling them. We have a well-developed military industry since the Soviet time, and we continue to make new products and services, and well recognized around the world, not only in Belarus or around Belarus. Well, we have a potential to cooperate in these fields with Indonesia, and we do that. We do that. Since last year, we are trying to organize more fruitful cooperation, industrial cooperation in automotive sector. Secondly, we just have come into the final stage of the joint venture here in Indonesia, and some kinds of electronic and optic equipment, not only for the civil purposes, I should say like that. And we are ready to share technologies with our Indonesian friends, because we have all agreements in force, including in military field cooperation. and we are looking forward how to mostly actively cooperate in this field. Well, we are ready to discuss any kind of cooperation, but you should understand that today Belarus is not a big investor country. We are not invest by money like Indonesia, but we have potential, industrial potential in some fields which is interesting for Indonesian companies. And you have also the materials, you have services, you have market, and interested in these technologies. And this is a very good, I should say, frame for cooperation. And we are trying to promote cooperation on the level of the companies and on the level of the ministries of industry. Right now, we are working on the draft memorandum of understanding between the two ministries of industry. And we are working with different companies, understanding that this market is not easy as well, but we have some potential in some fields. For example, I can mention just electrobuses. We are just launching this program in Jakarta. I think that program will go also to other big cities around Indonesia. But as for Belarus, we have our production of electrobuses for 10 years. Yes, we are just using sometimes the spare parts from different countries, including China, for example, but mostly engineering software, the brain of this product is Belarusian, from 0 to 100%. And we propose just cooperation in this field. This is like an example. And this market is just only growing from the 0. And we have a space, and the companies which are interested in this cooperation could work with us. We have electric buses with the right wheel. We also made a joint venture in this field with Great Britain. We launched the production of such buses in Birmingham. So they have all certificates of UK, of European Union as well. So far, I think that it's quite interesting product for Indonesian market as well. It's just one example how we can cooperate. Thank you.
Ya, thank you, Excellency. Untuk penanggap ketiga adalah Ibu Diah Wihardini. Kami persilahkan.
Okay, thank you, Bu Grace. So good evening, High Excellency, Valery Kolesnik, Ibu Grace Subandar, of course, and Sabandar, maaf, and my fellow IABIErs. So again, good evening. It's a pleasure to actually get to know the High Excellency, and of course, it is also an honor for me to actually be one of the speakers in here. So again, my name is Diah Wihardini. So currently, I'm the director of BINUS Global. So I'm working for one of the biggest private universities in Indonesia. It's called Bina Nusantara or BINUS. Again, I'm also extending, my invitation to the High Excellency to probably, discuss further about, potential collaborations with my universities. So every semester we are inviting ambassadors to actually come and give a talk to our students. And then we even have, what we call it a wall of fame. So we have, all of those signatures of the ambassadors whom we have invited. And again, since I'm working for an education institutions and I myself is an educator, and I'm very much interested in, learning more about your government's policy on human capital development, following or Pak Yulianto, before response or feedback about, like how Belarus is actually developing its human resources. So as soon as I get, the invitations, I looked up the internet, and then I found a very interesting fact. It is actually saying that you have a negative population growth rate, but you are, like sort of, you also have a positive immigration rate. So I'm just wondering whether you can elaborate more on whether it is one of the government policy to improve your human capital, since, you are trying to build more on your technology capacity, or becoming this Silicon Valley of Eastern Europe. Does it also mean that your country is actually opening up or recruiting, a lot of human resources from other countries to actually help to achieve this dream? So I think that's probably one of the main questions from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question, Ibu Dia. It's quite an important question about human capital development. And of course, the government has programs. They are not just a steady document. They're developed for every 5 years and reconsidered once again. And due to the demand of the market or the population, we are trying to make incentives, or make, I should say, changes in the system of education. Well, first of all, in the secondary schools, of course, primary schools, more or less, they are quite the same. And I can say that now the kids with 3, 4, 5 years, they can make all things on the gadget that we couldn't make even at 30 years. Well, but as for the secondary school, we introduced the mathematics and programming as a lesson in the secondary school. Yeah, since maybe 6th or 7th class, till 11th class. So far, before they enter the university degree, bachelor degree, they just understand what is it, and many, I should say, many teenagers, I should say, at 13, 14 years, they can program, make small programs. They can even walk, and it was started like this. The people in the secondary school started doing something in internet. And before they enter university, they understand what they want. And there are examples when the people in university stop their studies because they said, listen, I know my business better than you can educate me right now. I have 2 businesses, I'm a successful man, I will back to university maybe later. Well, but it's not everyone, but we have such cases. And we try also to, we understand that this business is born not only for the Belarus market. This business born primarily for the world market. And this is the added value of these specialists, that they understand there is no local market for IT sector. If you want to be successful, you should do the product or service exactly for the consumption somewhere in the world. And this was a success story of Viber or Masquerade or Wargaming and other developers who develop their products and services. So far, we understand that without international cooperation in this field, it could be no any success. No any success. I can't imagine that all programs are needed only for one nation. Today, these products and services, they do not have borders. And international cooperation, even we don't know about all links these companies in IT sector have today. When we are calling for our Singaporean friends, for example, they say, yeah, we have a number of companies. We have people from Belarus. Just yesterday, I received a call from Philippine companies, which is trying to promote 4 Belarusian IT companies in ASEAN and Philippine market. Why? Because they made research and they understood that in healthcare, in telemedicine, in other fields, they can make a good progress. So far, we also trying to invite the foreigners to be residents of high-tech park, and more companies participate. We understand that there is less, I should say, the information about Belarus or its possibilities may be not so well presented in the region. For example, I know that Chinese companies, they know about high-tech park in Belarus, and they cooperate very, very widely. Indian companies who are also widely recognized as IT sector or IT companies, they also participate. And sometimes it was just a notion from United States companies that if you want to make cheap, go to China or India. If you want to make good, go to Europe. If you want to make good and cheap, go to Belarus. Something like that. I just repeat, it's not my words. Well, and of course, we would be glad to see students from different countries in Belarus for teaching and disseminating this knowledge. I understand that the relations that exist between the students are the best links and network for the future projects.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Pak Excellency. Yeah.
Baik, untuk selanjutnya adalah saya undang Bapak Gatot Susilo.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Grace, for your time. Okay, so I will continue with Pak Agus question. So in related with the collaboration. So in this case, like I'm really interested to have collaboration with Belarus. Like given you explained before that you have 52 university in the country. So that means explain that you have like a pool of talent, right? So that's why like it's known that okay, Belarus having like become the Silicon Valley of the Eastern Europe. That's very great. So here in what industry? Like so, looking at from that one, so I see there's the airplane, the aeronautic space, like doing the maintenance, and then the electronic and the optical. So what I'm interested here, so I have a dream for Indonesia, like to have the aerospace center of Indonesia in Yogyakarta. So, and also I would like to extend that one into the telecommunication industry. So now with the 5G, we like to integrate it all together, right? So with the drone, I know a long time ago that all I knew back then, my apology, is Russia is well-known with the metallurgy, right? So if you watch the Top Gun movie, you see like their MiG-20 or whatever, that one is very powerful, everything analog, but it's powerful and strong. And then you know, like the European fighter is like, you know, we make a joke. There's a side mirror, there's a power window, power door kind of thing, right? So I can see that the Belarus have like a pool of talent. So I seek for collaboration with Belarus if possible. So here I already engaged with the local school in Indonesia. There's a 2 industry that work in the drone area. There's also work in the defense as well. So here, if we able to collaborate together, like we built the Aerospace Center of Indonesia in Yogyakarta, and then we can build like the Center of Excellence, I think that would be great. So I'm wondering like from you, Excellency, so what kind of the collaboration that we can do such that like it can be mutually benefit for Belarus and also Indonesia?
Yes, please, Excellency.
Okay, very good question, interesting. And I would be glad to discuss more in depth this topic, maybe B2B or separately, just because we have potential in this area. And we discussed it 2 years ago, even with Surabaya, some air base. And we have also companies who involved in the production and design of drones, on military and civil drones, on heavy drones. and heavy drones as helicopter and unmanned helicopters. Well, but to better understand where we can cooperate, I just propose maybe to meet and to discuss later on.
I will be delighted. So I'm right now still in Singapore. Unfortunately, like still on the.
You are from Singapore. Yeah, calling from Singapore.
I'm in Singapore. So normally, like every week or every 2 weeks, I'm back to Jakarta.
Yeah. But in any case,
for 6 months.
I see. But I am also deadlocked here, but I'm covering Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but in any case, I just propose what to do. Just organize maybe a Zoom meeting, and to specify discussion to be more concrete, not just in general. If you are interested.
So probably like we can set up the agenda, and then I'll bring my team like in Indonesia, how we can collaborate together.
Yeah, with pleasure.
So the dream is like in Jakarta, in Yogyakarta, because I see there's quite a unique province where have their own kingdom, right? Kind of their own little kingdom in Yogyakarta. So that's why I would like to put it there. So before I was have a dream like to build like a Habibie Research Center, like focusing on the 5G. But that one you need like the government support and so on. But now like the change. But I would like to do something different now. So like I like to do more like like I think aerospace with the Belarus help, that will really something, right? Because I see right now in Singapore, for example, like in Selatar, like a small country, but they're having like like maintenance for aerospace, right? So they have Airbus, they have a Boeing, they have a Rolls-Royce, they have Bombardier, many things, right? So why are we not moving to Indonesia? So with help of Belarus, so then the correlation with the European, like AMTO or something like that, right? So that will compete with the FAA. That would be, I think that would be something.
Yeah, I just propose to come back to a concrete discussion later on after this meeting, and we'll be glad to discuss. I have information and can share with you what we can do, and you can specify requests and see more in our potential.
Okay, so I will share my contact.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I hope Ibu Grace will share my contact as well. And,
I will.
Write to me.
Thank you, Ibu Grace. Thank you, Ambassador.
Excellency, this is the last question from Ibu Santi Diansari Hargianto before we close this session. Ibu Santi? Ada Ibu Santi Diansari Hargianto atau sudah tidak di sini?
Bu Santi cancel Mbak Grace.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, Excellency, actually that's all, and we are going to end this session. I enjoyed it very much. I hope that you also enjoyed this session, and we are going to listen to the closing remarks. We're going to hear the closing remarks from Bapak Oni Bintoro.
Okay, thank you, Madam Moderator, Ibu Grace Sabandar.
Yeah.
Thank you for your inspiring speech, Ambassador of Belarus, High Excellency Valery Kolesnik, and thank you also from my fellow IABIErs and Zoom participants tonight, this night. I have listened to some of the presentation and question and answers. Actually, it is interesting for IABIE because IABIE is Alumni Association of Habibie. And Alumni Association of Habibie was Indonesian young brightest student in 80s and 90s sent abroad. In 80s and 90s, around 4,000, I think around 1,000 go to Europe. I belong one of them. And in Europe, I spent around 10 years. That is the commons, the norm commons, not an exception. Meaning, I think I understand what happened in Europe. So when we are talking about Belarus, I know what at that time was part of the USSR, was in 80s. Then I read into Googling and I found that an article in Wall Street Journal saying that Belarus is emerging as the Silicon Valley of Eastern Europe. And saying that industry insiders credit the country high-tech parks a 123.5 acre heaven for IT company in Eastern Minsk. And Minsk is like around 10 million inwoners, 10 million people living there. It's like Jakarta. And this is interesting because part of the current president, Jokowi administration, I think 5 or 6 years ago, launching the idea of Science Technology Park. So Science Technology Park is like what happened in your high-tech parts. And I think Indonesia is adopted around 100 science technology parks. Some fail, some less successful, some successful. But the idea, by hearing your presentation and googling, that Belarus was funded their success of Silicon Valley into the science technology parks, it's really become a model. I think it's become model because Indonesia until now doesn't have really good science technology parks. And the idea of having the high technology parks, I think things that need for Indonesia to mimicking what happened in Belarus, because by saying a Silicon Valley is really a metaphor of the progress, technology progress. It's not an IT company, but it's a techpreneur. I think in the last 1 month, we know how the world riches came from the epicentrum of Silicon Valley. It's meaning like reading what happened in Amazon, PayPal, Facebook, and friends. And that's what also expectation in Belarus, I think it's also with Indonesia. And I know in Indonesia, where I'm working is in Ministry of Research and Technology. I think we have, at least I know in the ministry, they have a science technology park, the largest science technology park in Indonesia, probably bigger than what you have in Belarus. The name is Puspitek, Serpong. They have a lot of a company there, but I think we have certain less successful degree than what you achieve in Belarus. What I'm trying to say is actually there are a lot of things that need to be learned from your experience, from your country, which I read 10 years ago, starting with the Science Technology Park, and now it's become a Silicon Valley of Eastern Europe. Because if we can be making what happened there with Indonesia, and with all the question that my friend asking about the human resource management, can be incorporated into a good collaboration of what you learn. So we don't try to reinvent the wheel. What you learn in Eastern Europe and emerge as the one good world player in the area of startup can be also learned from Indonesia side. I think we can learn a lot from this, and I hope this is our first step for this type of collaboration. There will be next talking, or maybe another Zoom that probably will organized by IABIE or Madam Grace Sabandar. I think it's an excellent evening. I thanks a lot from inspiring speaker today, High Excellency Valery Kolesnik. I think also we need to give also applause to Madam Moderator Grace Sabandar and all my colleagues today. And I hope it really inspiring to our Indonesian fellow because it is live in the YouTube. Thanks all, and see you for the next meeting.
Thank you very much, especially to Your Excellency. Thank you very much, Excellency, for your time. It's been 90 minutes, very interesting 90 minutes. I hope that there will be so many to follow up. There will be more sessions in the future with you between the people of Indonesia and also the people of Belarus. Thank you very much, Excellency. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
And I would like to thank you all for participation in Inter.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.